In the last video, we created a shared enemy experience. So now we have a leader which spawns, it invokes some leader duties, and it tells it to periodically move the agents. So we're telling it to periodically move all agents. And right now it just says create one agent. And the receiver, when they get a agent spawn message, it will create a crowd agent. When it receives agent directed, it will then move that agent. And in the beginning, we get a message of about agents, and we will create, or we will, create local agents in those positions. So that was the work that we did in the last video. Some things can be improved. For example, all of the agents kind of twist and twerk, and if you leave and come back and leave and come back right now, the agents would just accumulate, because every time we're loading the leader duties, we're creating one agent, but we're also stashing that into the gen server in a list, so it's keeping the previous agent. So we need a way of removing agents. So in this video, we should make a way to shoot and remove an agent and make agent movement more, or how about less, twitchy. More natural. And then spawn enough agents for the number of members in the space. And then move the agent toward closest member. Also, what happens when they get right on top of the person? Are we handing out damage? Create damage when agent is on self. Okay, that's plenty to do in this video. Don't know if I'll get to all of it. So first, shoot and remove an agent. So that kind of falls to the bullet manager. The bullet manager is instantiated bullet manager, created inside scene manager, and it is created let's see, what is this part? Okay, this is part of the trigger event. It's going to fire a bullet, so that's handling that. And we create this when the scene is created, and we're handling it this to ourselves. And do we need the manager? I don't think we need the manager. So we can probably fix this a little bit. We say just take the scene, which is a Babylon scene. Then we don't need this, and we don't need this, and I think this is fine without that, so we'll change this to just take this scene. Take only what you need is the new philosophy. Bullet manager. Okay, to recap, it's going to, it has a bullet particle system. So this is not really a bullet particle, it's the bullet trail. So let's rename this. Bullet particle is actually the bullet trail. Save that. And we have a ray, which is the ray for the bullet to see if we're hitting anything. And we have a ray helper, which shows it if we need it. And so this can be moved around as necessary. Create bullet trail. Let's call this cache create bullet trail. This is only run one time, so let's call it cache particle. Cache particle system. Alright, so this can be used again and again. And when we fire a bullet, we take a member ID, which doesn't look like it's being used here. Yeah, this thing doesn't seem to be used. We take a position, a direction, a speed, number, distance, blah, blah, blah. And we create a bullet mesh, which is a bullet. We can maybe even give it a random. It doesn't really need a name. We're not going to reference this. Actually, just bullet was fine, I guess. And it's a certain fixed size. We set it at the position with the position you gave us. Then we target is the position with some distance, and then we have it, the bullet, look at that target. So now it's facing this right way, and then we attach this the system. Let's call this particle system. Looks like here's a closure. So we define remove bullet, which will stop the particle, make it invisible. Stop just stops emitting new particles. So we set a timeout of 2 seconds in order to let the existing particles fade out. So that's the remove bullet, which depends on this closure of this particle system. So we dispose of the system and the bullet. That cleans up everything. Animation will start moving the bullet in a certain direction. So we have the bullet. We're going to animate the bullet, animate the position. Here's some how many frames, total number of frames per second, animating this bullet position property toward the target vector 3, animate constant, and then have a callback, which is when it reaches the target, which we have set as just some arbitrary distance in the distance. Distance is what? Scale distance is something passed in, something large like 60 meters. So the max it will travel is 60 meters. And then it will remove the bullet and unregister before render, check for bullet intersect. So it's unregistering something. So something was registered. Check for bullet intersect, which is down here. Okay, we have remove targetable is another function. And we have another function here is check bullet for intersect. This uses the array. The array origin you copied from this current bullet position, and then the direction you copied from the direction. So again, it's utilizing this these arguments that were passed in the closure. And then it will do add in place. Okay, so it puts it in front of the mesh, some distance, length, and then it will perform a hit test, scene pick with ray. And if the hit test results in a picked mesh, then it will unregister after render itself, so it won't continue to run. Animation will stop. That means it hit something. And if the something had some metadata, and the member ID was not undefined, oh, the person that it hit has metadata, and this is because, let's write a note. Check if we hit a member and dish out damage. Avatars will have a member ID set in metadata. We can verify this in the find or create avatar. Here, the metadata is member ID. So the bullet manager is taking care of that for us. If our bullet, hold on, check for bullet intersect. Now, do we check everybody's bullets, or we only check the bullets that we fire? Let me think about this for a second. Check for bullet intersect. And so we're dishing out damage here. And then otherwise, if the mesh includes targetable as a tag, then we'll also call the function remove targetable. Oh, the thing that we hit needs to go away. Now, all of this stuff was in the function fire bullet. And when do we call fire bullet though? 1 second. So this scene, this is still in the fire bullet. All of this happens in a single fire bullet. Bullet manager. And are we okay? So we aren't listening for anything over here. It's the scene manager that's listening for that bit of trigger. Let's see. Trigger squeezed. And that's what calls this bullet manager. But we could, let's see, entity released, Alright, we could just listen for this ourselves. So we don't have to have this here. So we can cut. And I will just listen to it. someplace else. I will listen to it in the bullet manager. So when the bullet manager is instantiated, I'll use my own signal hub. Are we using signal hub in here? Signal hub. We are for the damage. Okay. Let's put it at the top in the constructor. Signal hub incoming on event. Right? Is that one of the things? Yeah. Filter. Pipe, then filter. This is the thing we want. Filter. Quick fix this here. It takes the event, and we want to make sure it's the event.message equals event name dot entity trigger squeezed. That's the one I want to listen to. Subscribe event, and here's where we're going to call something self fire bullet. Oh, and we only want to listen to our own right. We got to listen to everybody's. We got to draw everybody's. So hold on. We'll fire bullet. So we'll draw everybody's bullet. So this is, let's rename this as MTTT. This. Okay. I don't know why this doesn't work like this, but whatever. Position, direction, and this will go 10 meters. Alright, so this will send the member ID, position, direction, distance. Member ID, position, direction, speed. Oh, speed, size, distance. Okay, all these is default. I think we do want to know who we are, though. So let's pass my member ID, public, my member ID string. Scene manager, when you're creating the bullet manager, this member ID. I want to know who I am, because every client is listening to the same fire bullets. I'm listening to my own, I'm listening to yours, because I have to draw everybody's. But I need the member ID of who shot that, because I'm only going to make certain validations on my own bullets. So fire bullet should actually be broken down into maybe, no, we need the, yeah, let's call one thing, because I need the closures on that. Fire bullet. First thing we're going to do is draw the bullet, draw the particle system. It's almost as if the bullet should be its own class. Don't have to do it yet. Okay, so here we're creating the bullet. Yes, creating the particle system, create a function to remove the bullet. Every bullet needs that. Animation. Okay, targetable. If somebody else hits a target, you don't care. They're going to calculate it and then announce it. They're going to publish a message that the some target was destroyed. And so I don't need to do this here, right? I just need to extract this function and give back a picked mesh. This does not have to be defined in here. I'm not using any closures in here, am I? Scene stop animation, picked mesh, physics impossible. This ray, I'm using this ray. But you can easily set this. So let's remove this. This does not need to be here. Remove targetable. We'll make this a function out here. Remove targetable. We'll take a bevel and mesh, and it will give you also the some direction to impulse them. So let's say that the direction is also a Babylon vector 3. And so we don't need this ray direction, it's just direction. Stop animation on the picked mesh would be the bullet. Picked mesh okay. Over here we want to remove this and we'll send a message outward. Okay, check for the bullet intersect. This we're using this class ray, and so we copy it from bullet position, and then we do a hit test. Okay, and also we register before render, so it's doing it constantly for every bullet. Here we're going to dish out damage if you hit a picked mesh. Is it any mesh? Yeah, any mesh will stop the bullet. It won't go past it. But only the targetable will react in some way. So here I think we should emit a new type of event. Event name. How about something like a target? Target hit. Now it may not be completely destroyed, but we'll announce the type of target that it is, target hit. And then in the details, we'll say event name target hit, and the type of message would be ID of the target, string, and maybe a position and direction. Given entity ID, position, direction. Coming back to the bullet manager, let's emit this thing now. So we can emit event. We're saying target hit. And what are we saying now? The entity ID is hit test ticked mesh ID what else? The position is hit test picked point, okay, as array, and then direction hit test well, I guess it's this ray, right? This ray right here. In this scenario, it's the ray direction. Well, actually, it's just this direction. Direction, which is a number 3. Entity position direction. Okay. So it's going to emit that. And it's not going to destroy anything. It's just going to emit this thing. Going back here. So we'll shoot and remove an agent. Okay. We need to respond to that signal first. Make agent move less twitchy. Spawn enough agents. Move the agent toward the closest mirror. Create damage. Okay. Create damage when the agent is on the self. Okay. So we're getting damage if we're shot. If the agent is on us, I don't think that creates any damage. Not unless, let's look at the old code that we had. agent manager. What is this? Let's see. Crowd on reach target observable. Yeah. Because before we kept moving it exactly onto our position, and if it ever reached our position, we emitted that we damaged ourselves. Okay. I mean, one second though. So, checking for bullet intersect. Oh, but only do this. So we got to remove bullets for everybody. So we got to check bullet for intersect for everybody. Because we're not going to send, oh, bullet hit this. It's just going to be repeating all over the place. So you just do this yourself locally. Now, if you hit somebody else, if it's your bullet, coming back here, this is member ID of the bullet owner. Bullets member ID. Bullet owner member ID. If it's my bullet, then that's the only time I check for this business. So if this my bullet member ID is equal to bullet owner member ID, if it's my bullet, then I emit messages that nobody else can emit, that I'm damaging another player, or that I destroyed a target. If somebody else's bullet destroys a target, they're going to be the one to announce it, and I will remove it for them as well. But I need to receive that message. So we need the picked mesh. I need the entity ID. This is going to take the entity ID, which is a string, the direction, which is a number, and then we will just get this scene get mesh by ID, entity ID, const picked mesh equal that. If no picked mesh, or null is not found, then return. Otherwise, pick mesh metadata, and you need to set agent index. So does that mean that in the agent manager, when we create, we're setting that metadata, So we need to do this. Where are we creating our, create an agent. Here's our mesh. So let's do that business. Mesh dot paste mesh metadata. It is not defined. I'm not sure that this works in JavaScript or equal. Let me see. You have some object and then meta, which is null. And you say a dot meta or equal this. So a I mean, it looks like it works. A meta and then set some property on it. And then, what is it? A meta. Yeah, it works. Okay, fine. Mesh metadata agent index equals agent index. Okay, so that is set on the metadata. Used by bullet system to delete to check if target was an agent. So pick mesh has a metadata and agent index is not undefined. Then we can probably remove the agent. So bullet manager doesn't have access to the crowd agent of a business. When we receive the target, scene manager, like who should listen for, oh, okay, so when we detect we've hit a targetable, we emit this. Who should listen for this? Everyone should listen to it. Every client should listen to it. Because they have to remove their own version of it. Which class should listen to it? Bullet manager handles bullets, so it could be scene manager. It could be agent manager. Yeah, agent manager could listen for it. So you're listening to all events that are agent spawn, agent directed, and I think we need to do one more thing about whether the agent is a pawn. So first, let's say remove agent when fired upon signal hub incoming on event pipe. We're listening to when the event message is equal to event name target hit. Subscribe to the event. So we've got entity ID, position, and direction. Oh wait, the reason why we put it in bullet manager is why? Yeah, this doesn't need to be in bullet. Yeah, but we need this function. This is called remove targetable. Target. So where's the first one? Yeah, we're just sending out a message. And let's move this guy. This can be anywhere. But I need access to the crowd agent to call the remove agent, unless I make a local function. Who removes the targetable? Who announces the targetable? Everyone? No. You remove your own targetable. You're checking your own targetable. That's why you only do this if it's your bullet that hit something. You declare this to everyone. Everyone must react to it, but you're the only one checking for it. And you'll check for it really anywhere. I kind of feel like it's related to bullets because it's about checking if bullets hit things. This is the target. The only issue is that I don't have access to the crowd manager, but I can just add another message for that. And ask them to remove. Yeah, that's easy enough. That is easy enough. Let's put it back. Put it back. Remove targetable. Takes an entity ID. Okay, go back to agent manager. So let's take this out. Okay, we're listening to target hit. We don't care who hit the target. we gotta remove it. So it's this remove targetable with event.payload.entity ID and event payload direction. We're not doing anything with position. It's probably okay for now. It's target hit. Goes in a bullet manager. We receive target hit. Remove the target. So here we remove the target. If we can find a mesh, and if it was an agent, then I don't think you need to do this. You can just yeah, I don't think we need to do this. What is the order? Bullet manager and yeah, whatever. Just do signal hub and do like a local and just say agent destroyed or something. Or agent damaged. Let's do that. So go back to the types. I'll go back to signal hub. Okay, looks like a local event. Local event. It's a local event. And we'll say that it is agent damaged. We need the agent index. So here you just say local emit agent damaged. The value will be agent index, and it will be this picked mesh metadata agent index. And then all we have to do is listen for this inside agent manager. So then remove agents. So on subscribe. And this just has one object in here, which is the agent index. And you can do this dot agent delete agent with index agent index. We need to create this method. We do have a delete agent using the agent name. Delete agent with index, and you use agent index, which is a number, and we'll just do this. const agent index here becomes this agent's agent name, the agent index, and it would just call this delete with the index agent index. Actually, this is fine. The agent name is also on the, well, it might not be on the mesh name. We just stick 2 pieces of data on it. Of course, the mesh agent name is in the mesh transform node. Then in, what is it, bullet manager, I'm going to send this through agent damaged. Just give it the agent name, which is pick mesh metadata agent name. Going back to the type, sorry, local signal hub, local agent name, which is a string. Alright, so we emit that from bullet manager, and agent damaged, that goes over to the agent manager listening up top here. To agent name, we'll just delete with agent name. Great. Cool. What about, okay, so that should take care of shoot and remove an agent. Create damage when agent comes over to yourself. I think that has to do with any agent coming over to you. You're going to have to report your own damage. Because if you're checking there are going to be duplicates. If you're checking every agent and every client on every member, so the way we were doing this before, using this commented code stuff, this crowd on reach target observable. When it got to its target, it would emit member damaged for whoever it got close to. So it would be redundant messages, and then you would also pulse the thing. I think we can just check. Everybody can check. When, or maybe the leader can do all the checking. I'm not sure what the best way to do this yet, but I think maybe we'll focus on some of the other ones. So let's move that to the bottom. Great damage when it's on self. I'm not sure. Okay. How do we test this one? We need to shoot something and remove an agent. Maybe we'll go test it in VR. Make agent movement less twitchy and more natural. And that happens because you have multiple of these agents, and they're all moving at the same time. Let's see. We can go to Scene Manager. Sorry, Agent Manager. Plan the movement for all the agents. So here it's on a set interval. That's the main thing. So what happens if you just do a set timeout, do a one time, call some function, and then we'll do for a random wait, we have different agents. And so maybe every agent needs its own timeout? Between 0 and 1 multiplied by 1,000 or 5,000 gives you a value between nothing and 5 seconds. Let's make it, yeah, so on average it'll be around 3 seconds. And the value of set timeout is at the end you'll just call yourself again, right? So we'll just do this, copy, and put it in here. And this will move it once, and at the end of this inside the timeout you'll call yourself again. And then we won't move all the agents, we'll pick one of the agents at random. Okay, so get random agent. This agent is an object, so object keys, this agent, which brings back an array, and then just you want to pick JS, pick random from array. Const agent names, and return agent names math floor, math random agent names length. So this will give you back one of the names. So then set timeout for one of them. We just go not object keys, const agent name equals this, get random agent this agent's agent name, agent index. Alright, let's see if there's any terrible issues going on. Four, five. Cannot read property agent index. agent manager. This crowd agent position. Set timeout. Okay. This probably became a null. Let's see. What was the random agent? Well, if it's null, you can't do it, right? Yeah, because, right. If there's no agent name now, just come back. See, this happens after a certain amount of time. If you do this, it's going to do a set out and happen after a certain amount of time. Okay, yeah, so just say do it after a certain amount of time. And then return. Or just return. I think you can do this. Console.log attempting to plan movement for agent and agent name. Now this is here because of about agents. I am the leader, am I not? Scene manager. Are we the leader? I don't think we got the I'm the leader. So who sets the leader portion? New leader from the back end should come from here when we entered. Let's see, do we get here? IO inspect got here. There. So I'm going to enter the space. So did we get, okay, we did get there. Member entered. Okay, I got the leader. And so if I refresh this, there should be 2. I think we just keep adding them on. Well, there's 1, and then I'm going to add another one after 5 seconds. But I'm not the leader again. What happened? Okay, because I came in and the leader is not null. I never got a message left. Because I refreshed too quickly. So I came back in and the leader is still me. Which, in case, if I leave for longer, one 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. Should have left now. Member. Yeah, I guess is left. 10 10. 10 10 is a left, right? Yep. Okay. Safe to come back in. I should be the leader now. Am I the leader? I'm still not the leader? Who's the leader? R, S, G, and the L. R, S, G, and the L. Is that me? Yeah, it's me. Okay, so the state didn't clear it. Oh, because member left didn't clear it. No, when member left, it should have cleared it. In fact, let's close it. So if we go member left, it should clear my leadership. Okay, member left. Look at this again, and the leader is not unset. Let's see now. When you go to space, hold on. Space server member left, yeah. If event member is state leader, find a new leader. If this is greater than 0, give me the first one and broadcast a new leader and say that that's the leader. Otherwise, you say that this happened. Ooh, state equal. There we go. Let me go through all of these and make sure that there's an assignment here. Okay, so that is correct. This is correct. Agent redirected, that is correct. The member left is now correct. Okay, I think that should fix the bug. Still, if I come back too quickly, when I connect, I should get the new leader, right? When do I say new leader? New leader. When I enter. No, it's not nil. Broadcast. You're broadcasting this to everyone. He's saying, here's a new leader. So if you refresh and you're still the leader, you won't be the leader. So let's test this. So I think there still might be an issue here. So I'll go here like this. I come in. I'm going to be the leader because it was nil. So I'm the leader. Yep. After 5, creates this. After a random time, starts moving. And that's fine. Now if I refresh quickly, I got the leader again, and after 5 seconds it should make another one. I think I might need to refresh faster. Now we have 2, and they're moving at their own kind of random times, right? Yeah. It's kind of cool. They're doing their own thing. I'm going to refresh faster, see if I still get the leader. Bam, bam, and bam. Yep, I'm not the leader. I'm not the leader. But we can fix that just by broadcasting to everyone. Broadcast always. So whenever we get a member entered, if the state is 0, that's when you assign this guy to be the new state. Otherwise, you keep the old one, but either way, for every member joined, just say the new leader is state leader. That way, even if you refresh before you leave, technically, you will get the new leader, and everybody else already connected will also repeatedly get the new leader. Yeah, but how do we make sure we don't run that function twice? New leader. If it's you, for scene manager, if we get new leader and it's us, I'm not the lead. So you should make them idempotent, that you could run them multiple times, maybe. Init leader duties would do this, which is add agent spawn point, which it won't do this twice if it's this. If this is an object, yeah, doing this is harmless. That's idempotent. We won't add new ones. That's great. Going back to scene manager, what else? Start spawning. Start spawning, we could be asked to spawn again. How would that happen? So I'm the leader. I'm going to stay the leader unless I have left and immediately come back. Then that's fine. I'll spawn them again because I'm taking the present conditions into consideration. So these are fine. If somebody else takes over, they'll run at one time and they'll stay the leader until they die. I think we're okay here. I don't think these need to be idempotent. Okay, so with that there, we're just sending leader all the time. Oh, no. That's the issue, is because anytime anybody else joins, I'm going to be calling this again for myself. Right? So if I call this again, yeah, I don't want to register these twice. Start spawning. I can just put like a lock on this. Say, return if you've started spawning. The other thing you could do is you could just listen to the message once. So if you came back, you listen to the message once. That might be easier. Yeah, so we'll just pipe and then take one. Only listen once because we emit for every member entered. No, we don't want to do that either. Unless we're filtering first by member ID, then take one. Otherwise, we'll miss out on the other message that we want. So that might work. Well, I kind of just want to cut down on complexity here. Let's just not emit on every message. Let's see if I can go back to the way it was. So on the back end, space server. If it's nil, definitely broadcast. Okay. So two conditions where you definitely want to broadcast. If state leader is nil or state leader equal to the event member ID, which means I just rejoined really quick and I need to get that message again. So if either of these are true, then we'll do this one time. And therefore I don't think we need these other businesses here. But I also feel like it might be a little bit cleaner if we do filter by it. So if we went here and we went filter when the event and event dot member ID is equal to this member ID. Those are the only ones I care about. Quick fix there. Then I don't. Then it means I'm the leader here. So is leader is true. I mean this means that I can never not be the leader. If I leave, yeah, I think it's fine. Once you're the leader, you stay the leader. You don't need to listen to other messages unless you leave. But just leave it the way it was. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just say should only run once. I'm not the leader. Why am I not the leader? Huh? Console.log leader is, and say member ID. Oh, so where the place where we emulated it was too soon. We obviously can't send it here because, or we can, but we need to send event payload member ID instead of. There we go. Once again, refresh. I am the leader. Start moving, create a new spawner. Okay, so I did some of the things. Made it slightly less twitchy. Okay. Still haven't addressed spawning enough agents for the number of members. And we're not moving the agents toward us yet, so we can handle that in another video.